Good morning, students. Hope all of you are doing well. Wish you all a very happy and prosperous Bengali New Year ahead. This tough time we will definitely overcome and we will be blessed with our happy days very soon. So let us begin with our lesson today. The name of our lesson is Old Man at the Bridge by Ernest Hemingway. Ernest Miller Hemingway was an American novelist, short story writer and a journalist. His understated and simple writing has a very strong influence on the 20th century fiction. And this story that we are going to state, that is composed on an Easter day, and this was the context of a Spanish Civil War, when the author himself was a war correspondent and was covering Spanish Civil War. Let us begin with the line-wise explanation of Old Man at the Bridge. So before we start, one thing I forgot to say, that is the setting. We need to know the setting of the story beforehand so that we can relate. The setting is war zone at a pontoon bridge across the Ebro River during the Spanish Civil War on an Easter Sunday. So this was the setting. It was set in a war zone at a pontoon bridge on an Easter Sunday, okay, at the background of a Spanish Civil War. Let us start. An old man with steel-rimmed spectacles and very dusty clothes sat by the side of the road. Let me say, the story actually has been composed following the narrative technique of first person. Okay, and there are two main characters, that is the old man and the narrator himself. There was a pontoon bridge across the river, carts, trucks, and men and women and children were crossing it. So now what we can see, there is a man who is introduced to us. He was old and he was wearing a steel-rimmed spectacle and very dusty clothes, and there was a pontoon bridge. Pontoon bridge is very temporary across the river, and carts, trucks and men, women, children were crossing it. We can see they are crossing the bridge. The mule-drawn carts staggered up the steep bank from the bridge with soldiers helping push against the spokes of the wheel. Now, what is mule? Mule, that is an offspring of male horse and a female, a female donkey. So this is an offspring, and we can see the carts are often drawn by them. And was staggered means moved unsteadily. So what we can see, the mule drawn cart, the spoke that is been drawn into the mud, and people are helping to get that out of the mud. All of them are helping each other. We can see the situation is a bit worried and everyone is in a hurry. The trucks ground up away, heading out of it. All the peasants plodded along in the ankle-deep dust, and the condition of the truck is same. It is also struggling much to get out of the mud, and the peasants plodded along in the ankle-deep dust. Now we can see peasants, they walked very slowly and they were having dust up to their ankle length. But the old man sat well without moving. He was too tired to go any further. Now we can see here the frantic efforts seem to be very contrasting to the immobility of the old man. He is very much indifferent. So he remained very silent, very calm and poised, and at the background all this are going on. It was my business to cross the bridge. My, that is the narrator. Explore the bridgehead beyond and find out to what point the enemy had advanced. So what was his duty? His duty was to take care of the people so that they can cross the breach carefully. At the same time, he has to see how much the enemy has advanced. So by this we can understand this is a war-prone zone. So a war is going to take place very soon. There were not so many carts now and very few people on foot, but the old man was still there. So there were very few carts, as I told you already, they all were in hurry. All of them have already crossed. A few were there. They were also struggling to cross it as soon as possible. But the old man, he remained still, without any movement, without any hurry. Where do you come from? I asked him. From San Carlos, he said and smiled. That was his native town, and so it gave him pleasure to mention it, and he smiled. So we can see like the old man was having a sense of respect towards his motherland. So while he took the name of San Carlos, he smiled a bit. I was taking care of animals, he explained. Oh, I said, not quite understanding. I mean, why someone is explaining that he was taking care of animals to the army scout. So without much understanding, he said, oh, okay. Yes, he said, I stayed, you see, taking care of animals. I was the last one to leave the town of San Carlos. He did not look like a shepherd or a herdsman. So what he said, again, I was taking care of the animals and I'll be the last one to leave the town San Carlos. So the army scout, he was thinking, like, he doesn't look like a shepherd or he doesn't look like a cowherd. So what was he doing with many animals? I looked at his black dusty clothes and his grey dusty face. See, black dusty clothes and grey dusty, grey dusty face. So all these are negative imageries. These are deliberately used by the author to show us there is nothing good about the day, the barrenness, the infertility, the dull atmosphere of the day is being shown here. And he steel-rimmed spectacles and said, what animals were they? Various animals, he said, and shook his head. So when the scout asked him, what were those animals? And I mean, how many? So he said, various animals. And he shook his head. I had to leave them. And he was very sad as he was compelled to leave them. I was watching the bridge and the African-looking country of Ebro Delta and wondering how long now it would be before we would see the enemy, and listening all the while for the first noise that would signal that very mysterious event called contract. And the old man still sat there. So the man was looking at the Ebro Delta and he was just expecting like something is going to be happen very soon, and he was just waiting for the signal so that the enemies, the troop of enemies, they are advancing and he will be doing the rest steps. But the old man, he was still sitting there. What animals were they? I asked. There were 3 animals altogether, he explained. There were 2 goats and a cat, and then were 4 pairs of pigeons. And you had to leave them? I asked. Yes, because of the artillery. The captain told me to go because of the artillery. And you have no family? So the army scout is getting surprised. He is asking, don't you have a family? I asked, watching the far end of the breach where a few last carts were hurrying down the slope of the bank. So while asking, he was looking at the end of the breach where he can see a few carts. Otherwise, almost everyone left the town. No, he said. Only the animals, I stated. The cat, of course, will be all right. A cat can look out for himself, but it cannot think what will happen to others. Now you have to see, each animal is bearing here a symbol. The cat can manage. Cat is being told here as an independent animal. So it can manage. Whenever the artillery will take place, it will go to a safer place. Now let us discuss. What politics have you? I asked. The man, the army scout, he was asking, what animals do you belong? What politics do you belong? The man said, I am without politics. He said, I am 76 years old. I have come 12 kilometers now. I think now I can go no further. The man said, I am not at all of any politics. I am 76 years old and I am very much tired. I cannot move further as I have come along 12 kilometers already. This is not a good place to stop, I said. As you can see, this is a war-prone zone, and where you are sitting right now, it's not at all a good and safe place. If you can make it, there are trucks up the road where it forks to Tortosa. So, as you can see, there are trucks who can, carry you out to Tortosa. Tortosa is the name of a city in Spain. So, you can go there. And it forks means it has been divided into two parts. I will wait a while. I'll be waiting, the old man is saying. He said. And then I will go. Where do the trucks go? He asked. Where do the trucks go? Towards Barcelona, another city of Spain, I told him. I know no one in that direction. The old man has no family, no relatives, no friends, and he knew no one, he said. But thank you very much. Thank you very much. He looked at me very blankly and tiredly, without any expression, and very tired he was. Then said, having to share his oath with someone, the cat will be all right, I'm sure. There is no need to be unquiet about the cat. But the others? Now what do you think about the others? What will happen to the other animals? Why? They will probably come through it all right. You think so? Do you think so really? Why not, I said, watching the far bank where now no carts. Now, while talking to the old man, the army scout looked at the end of the bridge and he found no cart was there. Did you leave the dove cage unlocked? Did you open the cage? Yes. Then they will fly. Yes, certainly they will fly. But others? So first, we already discussed about the cat that it was an independent animal. Now doves, okay, he actually kept the cage open so that they can fly. Here they are symbolic of peace and harmony. They are very much symbolic of the refugees. They can change their place to be in a safer place when the time comes, when the difficult time comes. What will happen to the other animal? Other animal? What is left? Nothing but goats. Here, goats and the old man, their fates are almost same. Both of them are sharing what? Sacrificial fate. Okay, their fate is sealed, so they cannot be saved. If you are rested, I would go, I urged. Get up and try to walk now. Thank you, he said, and got to his feet, swayed from side and side, and then sat down backwards in the dust. With the army scout's direction, he started standing up. He stood up Okay, he swayed somehow left and right, and he was unable to stand. He was unable to walk rather. So he sat down again. I was taking care of animals, he said dully, but no longer to me. I was only taking care of animals. By the repetition of these lines, you can see that man is very much compassionate towards his animals. He has no family, he has no relatives, no friends but the animals, and he loved them very much. He was very sad to leave them under such artillery, but trust me, he was compelled to do so. There was nothing to do about him. It was Easter Sunday and the fascists were advancing toward Ebro. Fascist, a strong political party who is a believer of fascism, who believes to have a strong government and does not allow any opponent. So they are advancing, and it was a Easter Sunday. Easter Sunday, it is very much symbolic. It is the third day when Jesus Christ rose from the dead. So the day is celebrated as a renewal, as a rebirth, and for it is the day is welcomed to have positive changes. But this is an irony that the man is going to be sacrificed very soon on this Easter Sunday. It was a grey overcast day with a low ceiling, so their planes were not up. It was a very barren day and with low ceiling, and we can see the barrenness is very much evident here. There is no hope. No one can save the man from being sacrificed. That and the fact that cats know how to look after themselves was all the good luck an old man would ever have. So the cat, it knows how to take care of itself. It is very independent, so it will run away. But the old man is very unfortunate as he cannot have the fate of the cat, so that he will be sacrificed very soon. This is really a sad story with a lot of implications and a lot of symbolism. Let us discuss the themes and symbols and the technique and form in detail. As we can see, there are two main themes, that is pointlessness of war and second is compassion. Pointlessness of war, yes, war brings nothing but pointlessness. It causes destruction, not at all productivity. So it is causing nothing but the demise of some people. Okay, nothing else. So pointlessness. This is a futile affair. Okay. Second is compassion. Yes, we have seen compassion is very much evident in the story. The old man is very much compassionate towards his animals, and we can see while everyone is busy having war, which will cause nothing but pointlessness, the old man is very busy thinking about the real meaning of life by taking care of the animals which he considered as his family. Next here, the style and technique. Narration, as I already mentioned, this is written in the first person narrative. Irony, yes, we can see there are many ironies. And the first irony is what? The story took place on an Easter Sunday. Okay, and the story was concerned about war. At one place we can see there is rebirth, there is hope. On the other hand, we can see there is nothing but destruction. Okay, then irony is what? The old man was very much concerned about the animals, where nowadays we can see people are hardly concerned about their own family members. Here we can see the man, he is very, very serious, he is very compassionate towards his animals. Symbolism, as I said, this story is full of symbols. One is Ebro River. The river, walking down the river, it is completely a metaphor of a life's journey. It will cause change, and yes, the river that is flowing, it is causing the change in a man's life. It is going to cause. And then comes what? The animals, the symbols I have already explained. Then comes bridge, the pontoon bridge. As I said, the bridge is very much symbolic here in the prose. On one hand you can see life, on the other hand we can see death. If the man he chooses to come across the bridge, then he will be devoid of the love that he got being in his own town, San Carlos. And if he decides to be here, his fate will be very similar to his animals. And then the day, yes, as I said, the day is a barren one with low ceiling, so there is no hope. There is not at all any positivity, and by war we cannot think about anything productive, anything positive. It will cause nothing but destruction. Then here setting I already discussed. So that was all about the prose. I tried my level best to discuss every line and every technique, setting, form in detail. If any problem still persists, you can write to me in the comment section. I'll try to answer all of your queries. Please read this chapter well. A thorough reading is very much important so that you can understand. And I am repeating once again, this story is full of symbols, implications, metaphors. So you need to understand the meaning of each line. Okay, so this much today. We will meet in the next session. Till then, take care of yourself, be happy, stay at home, and have a good day ahead.